So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new series I'm going to be starting on the channel. This series will hopefully be going on from the start to the end of Infinite Warfare Zombies, and what I'm going to be calling this series is Perk Class Setup. So as the name suggests, this series is centered around perks, but I didn't really want to do a series just talking about the best perks. I thought I'd make a series actually talking about different type of perk combinations you can have in Infinite Warfare Zombies. As you guys know, there's 10 perks on Zombies in Spaceland, so I thought I would start the series off with a strong one. So the first perk class setup we're going to be getting into today is called the Average Joe. But before we get into anything, I really do want to ask you guys if we can shoot for 500 likes on this video. It would mean the world to me if we could start this series off with a very positive note. So 500 likes is what we're going to be shooting for today, but if you guys want to see your perk class setup on the channel, be sure to give me some suggestions down in the comment section below. I want to know the name of the perk class setup and also the perks you want me to use for the setup itself. But without further ado guys, let's get into it. So the Average Joe, what this perk class setup is actually centered around is all the old school perks from previous zombie games. Now in Infinite Warfare there are different variations of the perks itself, but they do have the same effects. But before we get into all of these perks, I really want to touch on guns. So what guns do you need to use to make this perk class setup successful? So as the name suggests, he's pretty average, so he doesn't really need any crazy weapons. So the weapons I do suggest is the Hailstorm, which is the pistol located in the starting room, and also the M1, which is also located in the starting room. We're going to be using these weapons because they're pretty simple to get and you can buy ammo off the wall if you ever run out. But with our first two weapons out of the way, we're going to be getting straight into the perks. So the perks you want to buy is firstly Up and Adams. It's quick revive. Once you go down, you can get back up, you don't die. Another perk we're needing is Tough Enough. Pretty much it's Juggernog. You get hit from behind, you get hit from the front, it's okay because you're not going to be going down as quick or as easily without that perk. The next perk we need is Quickies, which is pretty much Speed Collar. It allows you to reload any weapon you have just that little bit faster. It's going to come in handy with these weapons when we do have them pack-a-punched or upgraded. And another plus side that Quickies actually gives you is you can throw your grenades and rebuild barriers as quick and as easy as possible. But another perk we need, which will be essential for this perk class setup to be successful, is going to have to be Bang Bangs, which is double tap, which allows yourself to use your weapons to its full potential. It takes the damage up, either it being unpack-a-punch or pack-a-punch, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, any shitty weapon you use, or in this case we're using the Hailstorm and the M1, will be being worked to its full potential. So that's pretty much the four simplistic perks out of the way, and as you guys know, in Infinite Warfare Zombies we can actually buy a fifth perk as the perk limit is 5. So if I did suggest a fifth perk, I would suggest Mule Munchies, as what that allows you to do is buy a third weapon. So once you have Mule Munchies, the extra gun you can go and get is the Volk, which is pretty much the AK-47 in Infinite Warfare. Now you may be thinking Racing Stripes, or in other words Stamina, which allows you to run just that little bit faster. The reason why we're not going to be putting Racing Stripes in this perk class setup is because we're average. We're not looking to get from A to B as fast as possible. This perk setup is centered around the patient and slow and steady player. So all the perks I've listed off will be for the slow and steady player who does have a lot of patience and doesn't mind shooting those zombies with not the best possible weapons in the world, but somewhat good weapons that will eventually end round, which allows you to go to the next one. So mainly this perk class setup is centered around the really old school and classic players that used to play Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2, as back in the day the maps that we got were very simplistic, and with this Average Joe perk class setup you are using the bare minimum. But a question you may be asking is, where does the Average Joe like to train? And the way the Average Joe likes to train is actually something I like to call cross-map training. That's pretty much going from one room to another room to the next room. You get the idea. We're going around the whole map. Now this doesn't mean you're limited to doing this cross-map training strategy. I mean, you can train in one area for a short amount of time, but usually the Average Joe just likes to go around the whole map, and by the end of it he's killed off all the zombies and he's ready to get to the higher rounds. Now I would like to point out that the weapons I am using in this perk class setup, the Hailstorm, the M1 and the Volk aren't really high round weapons, and the reason I actually picked up the Volk when I had Mule Munchies is because of the sole fact we have a very strong boss on Zombies in Spaceland called the Brute. And sure, the Hailstorm and the M1 does kill him, but the Volk does just take him down just that little bit faster. Now you may be thinking to yourself, why are you using starting room weapons? And surprisingly, they are very powerful. Like in the gameplay, you're seeing me use these weapons at about round 20 to 25, and they are still packing a little bit of a punch. But these weapons aren't for the higher rounds, because the average Joe isn't going to get to the higher rounds. He's just there for a little bit of shits and kicks. He's there to have a little bit of fun with buddies or just play by himself. But if you use this perk class setup, you're going to have an easy breezy game where you're not using wonder weapons, which means you save a lot of time to get to the higher rounds. And at the end of the day, you're having a little bit of fun with some very simplistic perks. But something I really do suggest is upgrading these weapons as quick as possible, because the M1 does get weaker when you do go up the rounds, and the Hailstorm Pack-a-Punched is a lot better when it is upgraded, and the Volk just tears when this bad boy is Pack-a-Punched. But anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this Average Joe perk class setup. If you did, be sure to smash the like on it. It shows you guys really supported the video. If you're new around here and want to stay up to date with all my zombies content, be sure to subscribe to the channel to never miss out on a brand new video of mine. And I'm very curious to know if you guys go on in-game and actually use this perk class setup. I'm very curious. Tell me down in the comment section below. And if you do have any perk class setups that either limit you or make your game a whole lot better, tell me down in the comment section below. List the name and also the perks. But that's going to be today's video, guys. I'm going to be seeing you in the next one. Peace out and goodbye.